What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It's time for a live transfer talk. I thought I'd go live today, see if anyone's around, get people's thoughts and feelings in about anything discussed today. We're going to get into it. New kit as well. New kit. Give my thoughts on that. Get your thoughts as well in the comments, and a few other items on the agenda today. So we're going to get into a few things, including the question from Chris yesterday. If players don't want to play for a manager, would they say that to the club or just say they aren't interested? Well, I got some answers from some football players. So there you go. So I'm going to give you their opinions as well in this video. So, yeah, as with everything, like the video, please. Helps out the channel, helps out your creator. It's free to do, and it goes a long way. Subscribe if you want to, and just drop your comments. On the dropping comments thing, I've got to say this. An afternoon to you guys, man. Shout out to everyone. Charles John in the house. First man, what is that? First in the house, the main man, exciting days ahead. I hope so, Charles. I hope so. Just in regards to like yesterday's video, which wasn't a good news video in terms of Leeds United being rejected by 2 players, according to reports. The comments were testy, as people would be annoyed and frustrated and everything else like that, which I completely understand. But guys, you can't be disrespectful in the comments. Now, usually I don't have to say this. It's written in there in the guidelines, keep it professional, keep it, no personal attacks, argue the point, not the person. But when bad news happens, you often see people's colors come out. And there were some long-time commenters as well saying some things where I was like, really? This is what got it out of you? It's almost like alcohol with some people. It's a truth serum. So all I'll say is this, and I can't make it any clearer, just keep them respectful. I would rather have 25 good comments rather than 300 absolute dirt comments in my section, even though that doesn't mean no favors on YouTube. But yeah, I just won't allow it through on my channel. It's not happening, because then I feel like it's a reflection on me and what I'd allow, and I don't talk like that on here, so I don't expect it in my comment section as well. So that's all it is. But if you can't handle that, just think before you press send. Simple. Just think before you press send. That's all I ask of you. Andy here saying, just one big signing suit, please. I need some dopamine. I need it too, Andy. I need it too. We need that, and we deserve it. Okay, we deserve it. An afternoon to everyone, man. Shout out to everyone that's catching a live one. Hope everyone is well. Well, we do have some news to start off with, people, and that is Max Wöber has left the football club on loan. He joins the Bundesliga side Werder Bremen on loan for the 25-26 season. We knew that Max Wöber was going to leave. We was hearing it was going to be in the single digits of millions. Well, it turns out it's a loan deal. So yes, it would have been nice to sell him, but it seems it's a PSR thing, which I'll bring up in just a moment as well. But listen, in contrast to his last leaving message, he got quite a lengthy goodbye in this one, which shows that obviously things had changed with Max at the football club. But just by all accounts, and even just, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but his season was interrupted by that knee problem that he had, because when he played, he looked a level above in the championship. It was very, very little, that small sample size we got. But as I was saying at the time, he looked like Guardiola of the championship, the way he was defending. But then we see him in the opposition penalty box. And if we had got some more of that, just think about how much easier some of our games would have been. But that knee injury just took him out, and then he had to have surgery. But look at that. Nice goodbye message this time. It's not just a one-liner from the club saying, all right, I'll sling your hook, Max. Like last time when he left on loan, it seems that it did go a lot better for him behind the scenes as well. So good luck to him. And in terms of this, people talking about thought he was sold. Beren has put this out. Leeds agree season-long loan with Werder Bremen for Max Wöber. It's understood a loan suits the club PSR picture better than any prospective permanent package. Current book value estimate at 4.8 million. Any fee below that would have harmed club projections. So it is basically a PSR move as to why he hasn't been sold. Beren continues, evidently he wasn't going to play too much for Leeds. There will be some frustration that they haven't sold him, but they have to play the PSR game for every pound they can. We'll hope he has a good season, make a profit on the book value of 2.3 million next summer. I mean, if we can't get over 2.3 million for him next summer, regardless of how his season goes, we may be in trouble. We may be in trouble. But yeah, it's one of those where it would be nice to get him sold, but this is the best deal at this point in time. And with the centre-backs we've got in the building, he wasn't going to play. And it obviously did not suit him last season, as it was evident as well. He wasn't enjoying being a substitute, but he was part of the team. It seems like no problems, according to that message. But he will want to play. And I knew there'd be interest in him. But yeah, it's a loan deal, people. So it's not ideal, but we shall see what happens next. What we saying here, David here. I was hoping we could sell him and buy another left back. We probably need 2 left backs if we're honest. Well, there's no probably. We need 2 left backs, David. And just quickly, because I'm not going to cover it on this one, Goodmanson has been seen trained with Lille at this point, so he isn't at Thorpe Arch hiding behind a curtain. He is training back with Lille back in France. Michael saying here, Wöber, so eventually he's going to end up going on a free. Maybe, but I think maybe we'll get a little fee for him next year, especially if his book value is 2.3 million. I think that we will get some kind of fee for him next year, but obviously it's going to be a big loss on what we actually signed him for. But I think we were prepared for that anyway. Jay Racer here, got a bad feeling about the man who kept looking at the sky every time he fluffed the chance coming back, Harrison. He would be a downgrade on Schmidt, let alone Solomon. Well, listen. Jay Racer, Segway King, because we have this. Okay, it's loading up. It's loading up. Pause. According to reports, is Chris Bascombe of the Guardian or Telegraph? I always get them mixed up. I think it's the Telegraph. Chris Bascombe has said this in regards to Jack Harrison. There is a possibility that Jack Harrison will return to Everton after his successive loan spells at the club. It says in the article as well that we could be looking for a fee of around 6 to 7 million. I highly doubt that, but they're not saying that it's going to be a fee or a loan. I can see this again, people, that Jack Harrison heads back out on loan, and I'd be absolutely fine with that. I would prefer to sell him and just get it out of the way. But if we have to move him out of this club as not an option on loan, so be it, as long as the whole of his wages are covered. Because we can't have a Jack Harrison type at this football club. We just can't. He hasn't got the mentality for it. He doesn't have the belief in himself, and his performances are very, very inconsistent. So for me, Jack Harrison out of this football club in any way that it can be done. And let me just show you the last 2 years of Harrison. If I was to suggest to you a player, people, that has got this kind of goal involvement that Leeds United should sign as an option, you'd be calling me crazy. All right. You'd be calling me nutty. You'd be thinking, has he lost his mind? And I would have if I was suggesting a player that had these kind of numbers be suggested for an option at Leeds United. That's why I never mention him when I talk about our wingers. I say Ramazani, I say Nanto, I say Dan James. I never mention Jack Harrison because, quite frankly, he shouldn't be here. And the thing is, for me as well, at this stage, as I talked to you on 4th of July, listen, got a big viewership in America, so salute to you for the 4th of July. Hope you're all having a good time and the barbecue and Bud Lights and all that. But with Jack Harrison and a few of the other players at this football club, the fact that we haven't actively heard that these guys are being pushed out just shows me that we're still at that level as a football club where we're not ruthless enough. We are not ruthless enough as it pertains to players that have got no business being here. Now, Daniel Farker could easily say, when we return to training, Jack has shown that he wants to reintegrate himself back into the team and everything else. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it's a completely different scenario from Brendan Aronson and even Max Wöber. Jack Harrison was here for the longest time. And I always have to remind people, because people forget this, Jack Harrison forced his way out while he was injured. Okay, in order to make sure that he made that cut of whatever it was, 6 players that go out on loan for that relegation loan clause, he went out as he couldn't even take the medical properly. He was that desperate to leave. Now, I've got no problems with people that have got ambitions to play at the Premier League. I've said that before, but the facts are he has not improved as a player. In fact, he's declined. And if you see some of the responses from Everton fans saying you can't be serious about bringing this guy back, it tells you everything you need to know. So in regards to people like Jack and others as well, the club for me need to be a bit more forceful in making them surplus to requirements, but I just get the feeling they're going to try and reintegrate a few of these players back. And if they are, then the club deserves everything they get this coming season. And it is as simple as that for me. Andy saying here, Brendan bent over backwards to reintegrate into the squad. Yeah, and it's not in regards to what Brendan did, especially in the latter half of the season where he was anonymous. You could see he made every effort to do that. There's not even saying that Jack won't do that. We're a Premier League team again, so he'll fancy it. But I would say to whatever Daniel would say about reintegrating him into the team is that if we were still a championship club, he wouldn't be looking to reintegrate himself. He'd be heading straight back out on loan. So for me, it's inconsequential of whether he wants to stay or not. It's down to the club now to say about certain players, we don't want you here. You're not needed. You're not going to play much. find yourself a new club. Now, if the players then decide that they want to stay because they're under contract and it's well within their rights, got no issues with that. Got no issues. I'd question their mentality of not being a first choice player and want to stick around, but that's a whole different story. But they're well within their rights under contract. But I need to see this club be a bit more forceful with some of these players that have got no business being here. That's what I want to see. Bobby here saying here he can go MLS and take Brendan back with him. I don't think Brendan's going there. I've got a big feeling, people, that Brendan Aronson will be a part of this squad, and I'm getting my head around that. But I feel like Daniel Farke, and as well as Brendan Aronson's comments as well about him wanting to prove people wrong, I think he's going to be here this season. That's just my opinion there. Darren here saying club should just tell him Darren. Okay, listen, Jack Harrison will know just from his comments and from his mama's comments as well that he's not going to be wholeheartedly welcome straight away. But Jack Harrison also knows that this fan base is very passion merchant like, and all it will take is Jack Harrison to score a couple of goals and he'll be back in the good graces again. It's that easy with some football fans. Doesn't take much. We've seen it over and over again. Even if you want to go with Willie Nonto after he went out on strike, good performances got Willie Nonto, in most people's anyways, good graces, even though I did tell you what that whole situation was in regards to his agent, but no one listens to Cage. It's okay. But yeah, he'll know that all it will take is one good performance and he's back in the good graces again. And plus, he's got Bielsa legacy stink on him. So people will look at him even more romantically than they ever did to Max Wöber or Brendan Aronson, which is, again, a reason why he needs to go no matter what. So Gavin here saying, I think he'll go back to Everton, but I think the fee will be 5 million. Yeah, I mean, listen, whatever it is, 5 million loan, just get him off the books for another year and kick the can down the road if you have to, like you've done with Max Wöber, so we're not stuck with Jack Harrison as an option. Because for me, that's just Premier League. I can't say it, I can't say that word. Self-harm, okay? It's Premier League self-harm if you're keeping players like that around. We got Nonto out for a period of time. Jack Harrison steps in. Whoop-de-doo. You know what I mean? Whoop-de-doo. But look, so yeah, there's Jack Harrison, and that's the latest on him. What have we got next? What have we got next? Okay, update on Timothy Weah. I'm going to have to click off some of these tabs. Got way too many open. Timothy Weah, just a quick update on him, because obviously we've been linked with him over the past, week and a half now. Apparently, he is keen on a move to Marseille and is looking for Marseille Juve to come to an agreement. Seems that Marseille could be his preference. In terms of that, doesn't surprise me. So yeah, there's the latest on Timothy Weah. Marseille is preferred destination at this point in time, but as you've seen with reports and everything else, things change by the hour almost, it seems. But this is the latest on Timothy Weah. Who else? What else is there? Should we do the kit next? No. We'll do Vanja Milinković-Savić next. This one's been going on for a couple of days. The 6'8" goalkeeper. I mean, if we was to sign him, can he bring his brother? Can he bring his brother Sergey? That would be lovely. That would be lovely, eh? But yeah, Vanja Milinković-Savić has been linked with a move to Leeds United. Again, we have an interest in him. He's on the short list, and we are monitoring. There's all the buzzwords in terms of this. The report does say, what does it say here? According to reports, Milinković-Savić has a release clause worth 19 million euros, which is around 16 million pounds in his contract with Torino. Napoli, it was said that he was going to go Napoli, but then they renewed the contract of Alex Murray, so he's going to be staying there. So now they don't need Milinković-Savić anymore. But yeah, listen, people, 16 million pounds for a goalkeeper of this quality, 6'8", 28 years old. Absolutely. But my thing is, how many goalkeepers are on the shortlist, and why are we not going for one now? Why aren't we lining up our ducks and getting one in before we head into preseason training? What is it, Monday? We're back Monday. So we got 3 days, people, 3 days until Daniel Farke's 7th of July deadline. By the way, that's not a hard and fast deadline. There's a few comments as well coming through about we're not going to get anything by the 7th of July, and that will be a disaster. It won't be a disaster. That was just Daniel Farke's preference of trying to get in new players integrated by that date. But we've seen it all the time. Deals come up late in the window, sometimes where you're not expecting them, and you can make a deal probably 2 days before the transfer deadline. Things happen all the time. I think he just wanted a bulk of the Premier League team in, but we have got what we've got. And look, we've got a whole weekend to get a couple of players in terms of bolstering this squad, and it needs it, man. Even just going by the shirt signing like pictures we got in the video, we need signings, people. We need them. Andy S, what happened to Nick Pope rumors? He wants to stay at Newcastle, and by all accounts, it sounds like Newcastle want to keep him. We all thought that they're going to have a goalkeeper leave. It looks like Dubravka's the one that has been put up for sale. So it looks like it's going to be a battle between Pope and Trafford at this point. Obviously, again, that's another thing where things can change. Pope, once Trafford comes in the building, could think, damn, this guy really is number one. I don't want to sit around as number two. I want to play. And that's where you open it up. Is that to Leeds? I don't know. But at this point in time, it does seem that Nick Pope and Newcastle sources are all saying he wants to stay there. Michael saying, interested, monitoring, shortlisted, and they've signed for Sunderland. Tremendous. Oh, man. But yeah, so we'll keep an eye on this one. Again, 16 million is a sweet spot for me in terms of a goalkeeper. I don't think you need to go above and beyond that for a goalkeeper, especially for one of this quality. So we shall see. But is he interested in coming? That's a whole other question. Just before I go on to the kits, Chris asked me this yesterday, and I didn't want to reply with words because if I reply with words, it looks funny and it can get kind of mixed up. But I did ask players. So this isn't my opinion. This is from a collection of players who give me answers back. He asked me, KG, knowing football like you do, if players didn't want to play for a manager, I think he's meaning Danny Farker in this instance, would they say that to the club or just say they aren't interested? And the general consensus I got was if they hadn't worked with a manager before, they would not say outright that they wouldn't work with that manager because they don't know what's going to happen in the future. They sign for a new club. That manager that they rejected could be managing their club if that current manager gets sacked. So they won't burn the bridges like that. But all they'll say is that if they go with another club, they like that coach, they like his style, and they could see how they fit in there without disparaging the other interested club's manager. That's the general consensus I got. One who I knew had a public fallout with a manager would just outright say, I'm not playing for that manager again, so I've got no interest in going there, which is fair enough. But generally, they won't say that in regards to the manager, but a manager being at a club does help a signing a lot. And this isn't me talking, that's players talking, professional football players. So I thought I'd just answer it that way. Something that I didn't get from players, though, but if you look at just Joe Rothwell, he's moved to Rangers with Russell Martin, who didn't see him as an outright starter at Southampton. He was a substitute a lot of the time, especially towards the end of his loan there. But you've seen even with Joe Rothwell, his quote saying that I've worked with Russell before. I know what he wants. I know what to get from him. That can help, even though he didn't play with him regularly. So there's all kinds of different things that happen with players, all different things they consider. Money, opportunity is one, but a coach does come into it too. So I thought I just get that out of the way for Chris in this kind of form so I can explain it in this way from a collection of response I got from players. So I hope that helps. That's tremendous, man. Sunderland have not given us the okay for Goodmanson yet. I love that. Sunderland are just running the joint, aren't they? So shall we go into the kits next? Where is the kits? Okay, again, I gotta click off some of these tabs. Off you go. Okay. So we're in new kit territory now, people, or new home shirt, I should say. My thoughts on it is that it's the same as last year with just a couple of changes. And if you're not bothered about getting a new shirt every year, then this will suit you down to the ground because there's no real urgency to get this one. It's simple. It's white as it should be. I always say don't do too much to the home shirt, just purely on the basis that we've done that previously. If anyone remembers that one we had back in the doldrums of the championship where it had the two stripes going up the middle. I think it was blue and yellow stripe. Looked like a car had run over the middle of it with Enterprise insurances on it. Didn't like that. Okay, so I appreciate the simplicity, but is it worth for me shelling out £70 on the new shirt that's just the same as last year's? Not really for me. So, but I like the simplicity of it. I'm more concerned of who's going to be wearing it next season more than the design of it. Lowfield inspired with all the trimmings on it, as you can see. The only thing I would say that I'm not keen on the shirt, and it stands out like a sore thumb, is this on the back. Yeah, this little bit. I appreciate the message. The scars. We are Leeds and everything. I just feel like that's a little bit, Tim Putty. That's just my opinion, though. But I'm not hating on it. it's a nice shirt, but I think there'll be a few people quite relieved that it's not a drastic change from last season's shirt, so they don't feel the urgency to go and get it. Because I know how it is for some people that want to keep up to date with the shirts, put themselves under financial pressure. Maybe there isn't that much pressure this season with this shirt, so it will be interesting. We always sell a lot of shirts. That's always one of the main things in regards to the income of this football club. Be very interested to see how this one does in comparison to last season being so similar. I'm looking forward to the away shirts, especially if it's that rumored black one. That one is one that I feel I'll be wearing in a lot of places. So if you see me out and about, you see a black guy in a black Leeds United shirt, it will probably be me because it looks absolutely clean as hell. But I do appreciate the simplicity for the home shirt for sure. Darren here, yeah, just wait for it to be selling at £20. Yeah, exactly. You can easily do that as well. And again, something else that people ask about is the simplicity of the announcement videos. We've seen it already. We've kind of touched on it for the players so far. There hasn't been a long, drawn out thing over the players, big production, everything behind it. And there really wasn't for the home shirt. And for me, I think simplicity is what they're going for because we've been burned in the past of doing the flashy videos for these players that were nowhere near the level. And it just kind of looks stupid in the end. Maybe that's by design that they're going for a simplistic announcement videos for both shirts and for players so far. I think even if we sign a marquee talent for a player, maybe they will get the same treatment as well. I mean, we're still getting Bernal videos today from the official account. It's like, all right, man, we know we got Bernal. Move on to the next one, please. So yeah, I think it's one of those where we're trying to keep it simplistic and announce them just like this and keep it moving. But yeah, the big production, I do miss that because I do like the effort that comes into social media and the signings in that way. But I do get it on another hand as well. LUFC saying here, think the season, KG, I'm not inspired. Listen, man, it's only the 4th of July. The only thing I would say as well, because that is a comment that keeps on being brought up as well, that it's very early in the window, but we do need to move with a little bit more haste, in my opinion, just so all the targets that are on the good list don't get snapped up by other clubs. That's the only thing I would say. It's very different when you're recruiting at championship level because we already had one of the better squads. So to add to that is very easy to do, but we're fighting from underneath here in the Premier League where we're trying to get above that dotted line, you know, above the bottom three. So we do need to get a move on in terms of getting your number 1, 2, 3 targets. May have to move with a bit more haste than we're doing so far. Because for me, like I've said, 1 out of 3 of the signings so far are outright starters. The other 2 are squad members, in my opinion. So we shall see how we get along, but it is still early for sure. What are we saying here? So yeah, okay, so that's it with the shirt. Where are we going next? Let me again click off this. Why have I got so? Okay, couple of things here. This was from mine. You guys know I'm a big yeah, our short list is the size of a dictionary. Yeah. This was from mine, Mathias Kvistgaarden, who you guys know I've spoken about a lot. Just crossing him off the list because it seems, according to Foot Mercato, that he will be going to Lens in League One this summer. There is a championship club that is also after him as well, and I can take 2 guesses of who that is, and they'll be coming up in just a moment. But yeah, it does seem that Ligue 1 is his next destination. For me, it's a shame because this kid is just so good and he's ready for the next step. But I guess it will take doing stuff in Ligue 1 for everyone else to stand up and take notice. So yeah, Mathias Kvistgaarden, he is off the list. Someone else as well who I did have on the list early on is Bright Asai Samuel, and I get the feeling that this club, Birmingham City, would be the one in for Mathias as well. He joins them on a free transfer, 3-year deal, and that is an absolutely amazing signing for Birmingham City. In addition to Damari Gray as well, who they've signed as well. It just shows me as well that this season's championship is going to be way more competitive than as was last season. So we've actually got out at the right time. There's just ambitious clubs in that division now in terms of Birmingham, Wrexham. I think they're going to be spending on some good players as well. So there's some brighter side. Samuel, I'd have absolutely taken on a free transfer. And his comments were very interesting that he wants to play in the Premier League, but he was blown away by the project that Birmingham City are going to be building. And he wants to be a part of that in addition to playing Premier League football. They want Premier League football next season. So yeah, listen, good on Birmingham City, good signing for them. So again, he gets crossed off the list. Yeah, Damari Gray, very good signing for the championship. Absolutely, yeah. For me, he's not a Premier League player. I think he's far too inconsistent. But you're talking Premier League, I mean, championship. He's absolutely a top signing in that division. So be interested to see what else that those guys do as they prepare for the championship season. Andy's saying here, yeah, people forget Leicester, Southampton, Ipswich. Yeah, Ipswich for me have got a ready-made championship winning squad as it is, even with the sale of Delap, and I'm sure they'll replace him. But yeah, I don't know about Leicester though. We got to see how many points they get deducted because I know the EFL want to hit them hard. But yeah, Southampton, see what they're going to do. It's going to be really interesting. Sheffield United is still strong at this point as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in that division. But we got to look after ourselves in the Premier League, man. Got to look after ourselves. Michael here saying recruitment, in regards to recruitment, maybe it's the worst time to sign a player as it's the World Cup year. No one wants to take the risk of not playing. January might present more opportunities, but risky to wait till then. Yeah. I mean, even in that instance, Michael, in that case, Nick Pope should be wanting to leave if he has any considerations of being England's number one. And listen, Jordan Pickford is England's number one, but we've seen all it takes is one injury and then they're ruled out. And if you took your time sitting on a bench, you're not even going to be in consideration. So it's one of those where it is an interesting year. Players will want to play. We've seen João Pedro move this summer, and he said it himself, purely on the basis he moved to Chelsea to get himself the shirt of Brazil's number 9. So that is going to be a factor this season as well, for sure. Tom, any news on Harmer? Nothing else to report on that as of yesterday. Yesterday's report was that his preference is to play in the Premier League. I'm hoping it's with this football club, but it could be with anybody. So his preference isn't to go back to Holland at this time. It is a Premier League move. So that is a good news at this point, but we shall see what happens with that. Have I got anything else? No. Just trying to check here. Let me do the poll. I always forget the poll, people. Always forget the poll, but I've got it here at the end. How many signings before the 7th of July? 1 to 2, 44%, 0, 33%, and 3 to 5, 21%. So people are hopeful. Yeah. Direct here, no striker news, I guess. Nothing that I've seen direct, nothing credible in regards to strikers being spoken about for this football club. So yeah. You know what, we'll leave it there so we don't draw out the stream. I'm very conscious of trying to keep it succinct to the points, unless there's anything else in the chat that needs addressing. But if there is the comment section for you to drop those in as well. So listen, there's been a few things discussed in this video. Please put your thoughts in the comments after the video is done. Like the video, free to do, helps out immensely. If you want to donate via super thanks, that is in the comment section too, helps me out immensely too. But yeah, people, that is it for the stream. Hope you're well. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully you have something positive to do and sign and announce this weekend. That would be lovely to do. But otherwise, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.